You know that Nirvana level of obsession? Their fans were so intensely loyal that they would pretty much do anything at the snap of Kurt Cobain's fingertips. There's really something to be learned about how they branded themselves to become so obsession-worthy in just the 7 years that they were actively playing gigs. So how do we create an obsession-worthy brand that keeps people hooked? Let's talk about it. But first of all, hey, I'm Cinx. This year, I quit my full-time 6-figure consulting job and moved across the world from Nashville to Amsterdam to pursue my dream of being a freelance graphic designer. I now own my own design agency as a solopreneur, and I'm the happiest I've ever been. Let's talk about Nirvana's story first and foremost. Despite shaping the musical landscape of the 90s, all 3 members of Nirvana actually emerged from quite modest beginnings. Nirvana demonstrated that with skill display, a little bit of luck, and dedication, anybody could rise to be a star. Now, how do we apply this to your brand? Tell your story, obviously. How you decided to become an artist, a business owner, a creative, the mental struggles that perhaps you were facing and what ultimately tipped you over the edge to make the decision, and the challenges you've overcome since making that decision. Why you were so driven to provide a particular product or service to this world. Be vulnerable, be honest, and be candid. Now let's talk about their unique value. Nirvana propelled punk and alternative music from underground to the top 100 charts, catalyzing the early 90s alternative revolution and affirming the potential to live a non-conformist life. Simultaneously, their fashion sense ignited the grunge movement, elevating the appeal of embracing a unapologetic and authentically raw aesthetic. Now, how do we apply this to your brand? Even with a beautifully crafted brand identity and marketing strategy, your product or service still needs to provide some type of unique value to people's lives beyond what your competitors are providing. Now, this shouldn't be something surface level like having the lowest price, fastest shipping, highest quality, because all of those things can be replicated. And as soon as a competitor comes in and replicates those things, you're pretty much screwed. Figure out the deepest human emotion or need that drives the purpose of your business and craft your narrative around that. Like, for example, Venmo isn't just providing a platform for people to easily exchange money. They are doing that. Yes, that's their functional benefit. But really, when you dig a little deeper, you realize that what they're actually solving for is making asking your friends for money a little less awkward by turning it into a social activity. Adding profiles, emojis, and witty or sarcastic descriptions to the money transfers actually made it kind of funny and far less intimidating. That's how they differentiated themselves in the market and became so successful. They knew the real problem they were solving for. So try this. Ask yourself, what problem am I solving for? And then, depending on what your answer is, whatever it is, continue to ask yourself why questions until you uncover the deepest human emotion or need that drives your purpose. This is called the why test, and this is how you should be branding yourself. It's the story that has the emotional weight to truly resonate deeply with your target audience. And number 3 of many reasons why Nirvana was so obsession-worthy is that they shined a light on things that mattered. Nirvana was quite ahead of their times when it came to discussing important social issues through their music and interviews. Things like homophobia, racism, and sexism were not openly being talked about, especially by people with influence. They pretty much flipped the script, and as a result of their activism, the polarizing response either created an audience that loved them or hated them. Well, how do we apply this to your brand? Okay, I'm not saying that you should be taking a stance on serious civil rights issues as a business. Well, maybe I am kind of saying that. But if you don't feel comfortable doing so in the context of your business, there's still ways that you can talk about things that matter in your marketing versus solely focusing on the functional benefits of your product or service. People don't really care about what you're selling, they care about how it's going to change their lives for the better. These are just 3 of the many reasons why Nirvana fans became absolutely obsessed with the band's presence and how we can learn from them when it comes to branding a business. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I know this was a short one, but I'm gonna start doing more help videos like this, so drop a comment and let me know what type of content you want to see in these help videos. Make sure to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you next week.